What's up, everybody? Yes, I'm back, man. And you guys know where I'm back from. Came from my road trip, me and the wife. And today, yesterday I told you guys that I will talk a little bit about my the running with an individual that had a very long Mongolian on him. Very interesting story, people. So just sit back, relax, and be patient because you guys already know this is a fitness channel with a twist. And those of you that don't know, I'm letting you know now. I always start out talking about fitness, nutrition, and overall health in general. But today is a special occasion, I should say, because I may just be dropping 2 videos because I actually had an encounter with an individual from Mr. Blue Devils Camp. If you guys want to hear about that one, make sure you leave it in the comments because the run-in was real. And this happened in Vegas. This first story that I'm going to tell you about happened in Reno, Nevada. I guess I was in uncharted territories that I wasn't familiar with. But it is what it is, people, so anyways, people, with that being said, man, if you want to get started in your fitness journey and start working on becoming that best version of yourself, you know what time it is. Shoot me a DM. My DM is high_powered_fitness, high_power_fitness_. Or you could reach out to me through an email. My email is highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. I guarantee I have that blueprint to success, people. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, Age is just a number. So don't use that as an excuse to keep you from being that best version of yourself. Because I'm telling you today, when I started investing in my overall health, started improving my overall life. I'm able to go out there and do things that I wasn't able to do. Why? Because I was all fucked up with vices and my mind was fogged up. Now the clarity, the cognitivity, and everything else that comes along with investing in your health is on point. I mean, you could see, people, come on now. The proof is in the pudding. No, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm just, that older gentleman who has that bedroom physique that a lot of people may want to acquire. I have that blueprint to success. But anyways, people, like I said, if you want to get started in your fitness journey, shoot me a DM. As a matter of fact, go check out my Instagram. On my Instagram is where I first started my fitness journey. I went from fat to fit to ripped. On my Instagram, I have over a couple years of material of me investing in my overall health. So you'll see the transition of my body recomp. You'll also see testimonials from team members and non-team members on my Instagram. I've helped many people to change their lives. I've helped them break their limited beliefs. Why? Because this is a passion that I have. This day, today, the day that I live for today is to help others. It's not to break others. My old self, I used to destroy lives. And that's something I'm not proud of. It is what it is. It was a game that I played, and it was what I signed up for. Now that I'm older and wiser, I've changed my role. I haven't forgotten where I came from, but I'm never going to lose sight of where I'm going. I tell you that right now, because the sight of where I'm taking this to is a beautiful scenery. You know what I mean? This day of age, I'm able to go around and chop it up with everybody and anybody. There's no color barriers with this individual right here. I show love to all people because at the end of the day, we all come from the same place. We're all humans, you know what I mean? We were put here on earth with different struggles. Some know how to cope with them and some just don't. So if you're a person that could relate to the struggles that I've been through and you need help getting over your struggles, you can shoot me a DM or email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. Well, anyways, people, I don't want to bore you with this, so I'm going to get straight to the punch, okay? As you guys already know, me and the wife were jet sets. We went on traveling. This morning we decided to take a different route. We ended up jumping on the 14 freeway, and it ended up taking us to a beautiful scenic route. You know, most of the route was pretty dark because the time that I left, you know what I mean, it's a little dark, but we ended up somehow in Reno, Nevada. And trust, it wasn't planned, but we ended up over there. And the day that we ended up landing there, there was a big festival going on. It was called the Wing Fest. So I know I said in the other video, it almost made it seem like I was aware of that fest. I didn't. And the only reason why it was brought to my attention is because when I was registering to get our room, an individual had approached me. He recognized me from social media, YouTube follower. He follows me on Instagram as well. Him and his wife, we busted a flick. All good, nothing but love. I forgot to ask where my boy was from, but if you're seeing this video, my boy, obviously you probably will. Much love to you and your queen. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll see you around. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah, we landed in Reno, Nevada, and I noticed there was a lot of mean muggers, but I get that everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just, it comes in our nature. It's in our for some reason it's in our race. You know, it's in our blood. It's in our sangre. And the reason is because we have that warrior blood in us. You know, we come from a history of wars and battles, you know, and pride. So it comes naturally. But, you know, as you get older, you know what I mean, you tend not to pay too much attention to that because, you know, most of the cats that are mean mugging are usually them harmless ones. You know, it's the quiet ones, the ones that walk in the shadows, the ones that you have to really pay attention to. And, you know, I was able to gain this knowledge, and I'm not saying for anybody else to go and do that. I've gained this knowledge doing time behind them walls. You know what I mean? Because I was taught by wise men, you know, of the real threats that really pose the threat to me. And yeah, there was also them other individuals in there too that, you know, fed me, you know, false propaganda, you know, and it is what it is. It was part of the game, you know, but as you mature and you learn the game, you start to realize why things are being done for what they're being done for in there. Yes, I do ramble on a lot, don't I? Well, anyways, people, let's get back to the story. I don't want to bore you guys, okay? So I'm in a place, it's an uncharted place. I have no idea. Right away when I come to mind, when I think of Reno, Nevada, I'm just thinking, okay, cowboys. That's what comes to my mind. Okay, what do they call that? What was the Ponderosa? I believe that's what it was up there. But yeah, so that's what comes to my mind, people. And so, as me and the wife were going about our day, exploring what it has to offer around there, you know, it's a trip. It's different. You know what I mean? I mean, you see certain elements everywhere you go, no matter where you go. You know what I mean? And that's because of, you know, the dope game. It is what it is. You know, I've been there, played it, got fucked up on dope as well. You know what I mean? And I've been blessed not to be in that that line anymore, I should just say. So, anyways. We're exploring. Yes, I get a lot of mean muggers, and I'm looking at these guys because I'm like, who the fuck are these individuals? You know what I mean? I low-key getting a kick out of it, you know what I mean? Because they don't pose no threat to me, you know what I mean? They're a little younger, and they have a little funny style dressing to them. Kind of a cross-cut between a motherfucking Edgar and a fucking skater, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck kind of gangster is this right here? You know what I mean? But who knows? Maybe they're tripping on me because they see an older cat like me, you know what I mean? Just... they might even speculate thinking that I just got out the joint. Because let's face it, most cats that look like me that are in pretty decent shape usually had barely gotten done paroling. You know, I'm keeping it real at 100%. That's the speculation that everybody gets when they see somebody that, you know, is taking care of themselves. They never really wants to think that that person finally invested in himself and got tired of his old lifestyle, you know, such as myself. That's what I did, you know, so I'm on top of my A game, baby. You know what I mean? And the run-ins were real. So anyways, I'm going to fast forward this, man. But throughout our day, I happened to notice a lot of people that had a different stilo to them. So I'm thinking, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm just being respectful here. I thought those were like, not so much paisas, but I thought they were like cowboy gangsters, okay? Because not one time did I ever think that that was a place where the Norteños planted their flags, okay? Because now you got to keep in mind, where I come from, there's no Norteños around, okay? So there's other individuals that are gonna contest what I have to say, but I'm gonna keep it real 100% because I've done time with homies from up north, okay? And they gave me a broke down, and there's gonna be different explanations how Southsiders got created up there, all depending on what origin you come from, okay? So there's gonna be different splits to every story, okay? And there's no right or wrong way because you actually had to have lived around the Southsiders that grew up north. The individuals, you know, that I was running into, you know, I didn't think that they were Northerners. And the reason why is because right away when I think of Northerners, I think of Sacra, Sanjo, up north in California, not in Nevada, okay? So I'm just gonna keep it short and simple because, you know, I don't wanna push anybody's buttons, you know what I mean, and want to argue because I'm not at that shit, you know what I mean? Where I come from, there's no Norteños, it's gang banging. And so the way I view the homies that are up north, and to me, they're both from up north, but you got the Southsiders and the Northerners, that's gang banging. Okay, that's the way I view it, okay? However you guys want to portray it, at the end of the day, to each his own. Well, anyways, enough rambling. Boom, we go out through the day, and yeah, I happen to notice a lot of people. And for me, I didn't pay attention to any colors or anything like that because, you know, come on, really? There's homies down here that have red paños. There's even a barrio down here with the 14. You know, if you know, you know. I'm not going to put it up on here, but someone said the other day that there's no barrios down here with the 14, but there is. You know what I'm saying? I come from down south. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm not going to get into that, but so we go through our day, go to the casinos, we do a little bit of gambling. Well, I don't really gamble, you know what I mean? I contribute to the cause. I give to my lady so my lady could have fun, you know what I mean? It's her birthday weekend, you know, so we're enjoying. You know, my thing is to explore and find new foods. I love eating. I'm not a foodie, you know what I mean? Man, I'm international when it comes to food and music and stuff like that. You know, if it sounds good and if it tastes good, I'm listening and eating. You feel me? But anyways, so obviously I got to go find out where the gym is, man. You know what I mean? So bam. But during this time, I noticed an individual, you know, got his hair slicked back, dressed pretty Bonnaroo, you know what I mean? In my eyes, you know, if you guys don't understand what Bonnaroo is, Bonnaroo, you know, his what you guys call, what do you guys call that shit nowadays? Your swag. You know what I mean? Hey, back in the day, you know what a swag meant? Swag meant to take a drink. See, you guys are reinventing the wheel. Like the same thing with you guys crashing out. You know what the fuck crashing out means to me? Going to sleep, baby. Time to take a nap. But you guys all trying to reinvent the wheel, and all you other cats are on the, I hate to say it, but you guys are like on the, to me it looks like you jump on the bandwagon. Come on now, really? Because someone wants to change it up, you're gonna go with it? It's some weird shit, you know what I mean? Call me old or dinosaur, whatever it is, but I guarantee you still don't look like this. But anyways, who knows, maybe you look even better. Fuck, it is what it is. If you do, I tip my hat to you. Keep doing whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? Stay on top of your game. But anyways, so I noticed an individual, you know, to my appearance, looked pretty Bonnaroo, slick back, and I slick back hair, and I'm saying, damn, this fool got like a old soul to him, because that's something that I would see like back in the, you know, when my brothers and them were out there doing their thing with the slick back hair, you know what I mean? Tres Flores, I mean, like slick back, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't really pay much attention to it because, you know, I figured I'm going to keep it really 100% with you, man. Sometimes a lot of other states are a little bit behind on their stilo, the way they get down. They're your guys' swag. Let's put it that way, someone that you guys can understand if there's a younger audience listening to me, okay? Anyways, let's fast forward this, man, because I don't want to bore you guys. I finally get to the gym. Start, you know, testing the machines in there to figure out what I'm gonna do either later on the next day, right? So I get to doing my thing. Of course, me, everywhere I go, I gotta fly my colors, which I mean by my colors is, you know, High Power Fitness, my shirt. I heard some rattling at the door, and that individual that kept on like, and it wasn't so much reckless eyeballing me, but I was watching him watch me. You feel me? And approaches, opens up the door, he cracks it. I know he's got it because you can't see out the windows because of the privacy. They have these like tinted windows or something like that, but you can see silhouettes out there, right? So this fool comes to the door and like peeks it open and is looking at me, and I'm like, "What's up? Like, what's up, my boy?" And he goes, "Hey, I recognize that shirt." I said, "Okay, what's up?" So I tell him, "What's up?" You know what I mean? It's just me and my wife. You know what I mean? Shit, but I'm ready to, do whatever needs to be done because I see silhouettes out there. You know what I mean? He goes, "Yeah, no." He goes, "Hey, G, you're the guy from YouTube, right?" I said, "Yes." And yes, I know you guys are going to say, "I knew he was going to say that." That's just the way it is. Don't fucking hate people. People recognize this old cat right here and they give me my props. And the reason why they show me love is because I'm not out here disrespecting nobody. I just don't do it. I'm not. What gains do you get off of that? If you feel a certain type of way, you got something on your chest, get it off with that motherfucker. You feel me? So I do get a lot of love from people and from all walks of lives. I got love from the brothers, from fucking my Asian buddies, the whites, the homies from up north, and obviously the homies from down here. And obviously I get a little bit of hate from the homies from up north that are Southsiders because they don't understand the political side of the way this stuff works down here. You know what I mean? They're young, but the older ones, they more or less understand. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? I ain't got time to try to give anybody klecha. You know what I mean? That's what they got their older homeboys for. Well, anyways, let's get straight to it, man. This guy here, I said, "What's up, G? You know what I mean? What's up?" And he goes, "Oh, no, I recognize you from YouTube." But he looked a little nervous, right? So now this is something that we pay attention to. When you're out there in them yards and you're walking in them, behind them walls, you see a strange behavior, the way a person is gonna, just before he's gonna do something. Unless you're very seasoned, you're not gonna show this. But this individual looked like he was nervous. So I'm right away thinking, okay, this guy's gonna try to rush me. So I'm ready, you know what I mean? I got a bar in my hand, you know what I mean? Fuck it, I'm ready to go let's go to town, baby, you know what I mean? I was actually in the middle of changing the pull down bar to the tricep bar, so it was a little bar, you know what I mean? So I said, hell yeah, I got the advantage right here. Start clacking heads. Well, anyways, long story short, he's like, no. He goes, yeah. He goes, I follow you. G. I respect your get down. And I said, "Oh, that's what's up, my G." And then I still see the crowd, but I can't see the crowd. You know what I mean? I see the silhouettes. And I go, "What's up, my G? What, you want to bust a flick or what? Is it okay?" He's asking me if it's okay. Fuck, why wouldn't it be, homie? Sure, come on now. And then he pushes the door open. He's with his family, his wife and his kids. His kids are tripping. His kids are tripping like, "Dad, who's this guy right here?" You know what I mean? The kids don't know me. But anyways, long story short, my boy, I didn't realize he was flamed up, had a San Francisco 49 jersey and all that. And the reason why I don't pay no attention to that, because like I said, there's homies down here with the 14 at the end of their barrio. There's homies that have red paños, and there's 49er fans down here. I'm keeping it real and 100% with you. The only time I ever seen that stuff were Raiders and Frisco stuff that was really deep with that, and there was very few that I gave the most respect to. There was real homies that were really righteous with their team. They would be supporting the 49ers. Other cats, they fell underneath the umbrella because they wanted to be part of, you know what I mean? But those Muslim cats right there, by season homies, we frown on people like that because those are just followers, you know what I mean? It's like monkey see, monkey do. That's some crazy shit. Well, anyways, we busted a flick, man. Gave the homie a hug. You know, we gave each other a hug. He was fucking like happy, but he was like still nervous. He showed a sign of nervous. So I'm like, what? Like in my mind, like, why is this guy so fucking nervous? You know what I mean? He ain't doing nothing wrong. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's got an ulterior motive. Maybe he's gonna take flight. That's what's going through my head. You know. So, anyways, when the individual after we shook and got a quick little hug, you know, to show love for one another, like I said, he showed signs of being nervous. When this individual walked away, not one time did it ever cross my mind that this vato was a Norteño. This fool had a fucking Mongolian all the way down to his fucking ass. And right there's a perfect example, gente. I wasn't able to identify whether he was a Norteño or a Southsider. I won't use that other term because trust and believe, 98% of the people out here that try to carry that label, you don't fit the criteria of being that person. You wouldn't even be putting that out here on social media. For those of you that know, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just because you're from a barrio don't mean that you have the right to carry that title. That's something that's earned. And much respect and love to all the homies, all the, man, let's leave it as that. Well, anyways, there's a perfect example, gente, that our gente from up north, you can't tell the difference. Yeah, they might have a little different stilo because they come from a whole different area. That's to be expected. When I go see my primos in Nuevo Mexico, they like fucking cowboys over there. They be riding horses and shit. 4x4s, but they with the business. You know what I'm saying? That's here nor there. But like I said, man, no matter where you come from, and no matter what you're representing, as long as you dish out that respect, you're gonna get that respect in return. So anyways, that was just one story. Now, if you guys want to hear the Blue Devil encounter, not with Blue Devil, one of his, let's just say, somebody that's part of the Blue Devil crew, I had a rant-in, and it was real, but it wasn't in Reno. It was in Las Vegas, because that's where I ended up, Las Vegas. You already know, shit, come on now. I got to get to my spot. I'm telling you, I just might just become a resident over there. I've already been told that more than once. But anyways, people, with that being said, man, I hope you like this story, but that's just what I wanted to share with you guys, man. I landed in a fucking place that was walking around with a lot of Norteños, and I looked into it to see if it was a stronghold, and I actually tapped in with somebody that was of stature back in the day that played those games, and he gave me some inside education, and it's not to be shared, but yeah, it is what it is. But for the individuals that were mugging me out there, no need to mug, man. If you have something to say, talk to me. I talk back. You feel me? There's a right way to approach a person, and there's a wrong way. If you come at a person respectfully and mature, you're going to get the same response in return. But if you come showing a little bit of aggression, you might just get laid out. No, I'm not a tough guy. But, it is what it is. Well, anyways, people, with that being said, man, if you want to get up and get yours and start being that best version of yourself, shoot me that DM, highpowerfitness, high_power_fitness_, or you could email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. There ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. Don't motherfucking talk about it. Be about it.